What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. We're back at it with another video. Today, we're talking about Kayvon Thibodeaux. Unfortunate events happened. He did get injured. It was an MCL injury, but fortunately enough, it wasn't as bad, or it wasn't bad enough that he will be gone the entire season. Okay, so there's a lot of controversy going on, whether it was a dirty hit, whether he was in the right, wrong, the defender was about the hit. And honestly, I want to break it down for everyone. I'm not an expert. I never played in the professional level, but I've done my research. I've played a little bit here and there. I know what's coached. I know what's right, what's wrong, and you know I got some answers for you guys.
Ooh,
Okay, one, I want to start off by saying the guy, I think his name is Moss, right?
Thaddeus Moss.
Thaddeus Moss. And what is he, Vince? Is he a rookie? Is he an undrafted free
Uh,
agent?
he is a tight end. I do not know if he's a rookie.
He's a tight end, and there's a reason why no one knows his name. Okay, he's trying to make the team. So by trying to make the team, you do everything that you can. You do your job, and what he was doing on that play was exactly that. He was doing his job in practice. You are taught to cut down men of that size. Kayvon Thibodeaux, man, he. Some people said that he should have been a first overall draft pick. Okay, he's a stud. He's a monster out there in the field. And then you have this guy Moss, who's a smaller dude. What do you want him to do? Go one-on-one with the guy. He's going to get trampled over. You do what you have to do to allow the play to proceed, and by doing that, he had to cut him. Okay, that's what the move is called. It's cut, a cut, chop block, whatever you want to call it, right? He did what he was taught to do and what they did in practice. I do have a video here. I do want to bring up some tweets as well. A lot of people tweeted on this hit, and I just want to address some of these tweets here. So here we have Emmanuel Echo. I can't stand this dude, first of all. But let's go to the hit real quick. Let's play this. If y'all can see that. He gets down low and boom, he gets hit. There goes his MCL. It's unfortunate, okay? And what happened was, I actually heard on this with AJ Hawk in the Pat McAfee show. I heard about this, that he read a ghost route. So he fell for the false handoff. He fell for it. He kind of paused. He planted his right foot, and that's what caused him to get that MCL injury whenever he was chop blocked. And unfortunately enough, that's what happens. It's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game. That move is part of the game. That move is performed at least 100 times during the game, during practice, during all of this kind of stuff. Okay, so stop showing hate to this guy. This guy did his job. He does not deserve a fine. He does not deserve suspension. Unfortunately enough, I'm pretty sure he did not mean to do that. Okay, look at him after the play. He did not mean to do that, guys. If you're saying this is a dirty hit, then either you have not played football or you're way too sensitive. Plain and simple. That's just how it is. But I do want to go into these tweets here, if you guys are ready. Unless you guys want to say something before we get into them.
No, I just wanna reiterate that it was his MCL. It was I believe a level 1 sprain, so he's only out for 3 or 4 weeks. So it's a quick turnaround. For those of you saying that, they could have ended his career, there's every single play where people can end their career. Someone can get hit wrong. Someone can make a wrong cut. Boom, there goes an ACL. Boom, there goes your meniscus. You're out. So it could have been a non-contact play, contact play. Injuries happen. That's the NFL. That's what they get paid to do. So other than that, yeah, let's go on to those tweets, man.
real quick. From what I've researched about this cut block, a lot of people do it. A lot of NFL players. You'll see it basically in every single game. The only way that I've heard that it is illegal if you come from behind the player.
Right.
So like if Kayvon Thibodeaux was like turning around, he's running after the running back, he's already past him, and then somebody throws themselves into his legs behind him, then that's illegal hit.
Yeah, he was unable to defend himself, to prep himself.
Yep.
But that wasn't the case here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get to some of these tweets here. First one, we got Warren Sharp, blue check mark there on Twitter. It says, dirty AF. No, sir. Emmanuel Echo. And if you guys do not know who this is, he's a guy that played in the league. For some reference, someone like Pat McAfee has more tackles than Emmanuel Eko. So use that as reference, okay? And he did not play. He did play a defensive position, a lot of special teams, but yeah, he wasn't on the field. He says this is ridiculous, dangerous, and cowardly. Straight cowardly. Prayers for Kayvon Thibodeaux. Yes, prayers for Kayvon Thibodeaux, but no, it wasn't cowardly. He was doing his job, and if you played football, you would know that. So I don't know why he did that. There's a lot of controversy with that tweet. Here, I'm a little disappointed because I do like Rich Eisen. Huge fan of him. He said there should be a penalty, a hefty fine, and a suspension. Nothing less is acceptable. Rich, you're part of the game. You see this all the time. And yes, I get it. If this were to happen to someone who was an undrafted free agent, if this were to happen to someone who's been in the league for 6 years and never a starter, would this cause so much commotion?
Nope.
Would this be? No, it wouldn't have. So, Rich, come on, man. Don't throw that shade. Don't throw that shade. We still like you here. We are still a pro-go Rich Eisen show. So we'll continue on here. Oh, I guess that's it. Oh, no, actually, we have Albert Breer. Says, on Bengals tight end, Moss cut block, defensive end Thibodeaux. It was completely clean, and these blocks are common with an ugly result. Should it be legal? The issues is shortening the strike zone for players. NFL's determined protecting the head, protecting knees. Yes, it is legal. Do we need to become illegal? An illegal hit? I don't know, because this is a move performed a lot by running backs to protect the quarterback. So if they cannot use that move, what else can they do to stop a 300 plus pound man, pure muscle, from bull rushing and going straight towards the quarterback? What can they do? Do you guys have any comments on this one here?
I mean, if you can't hit him there, you can't hit him in the head. I mean, where are you supposed to hit him? They keep on making the area where you can hit smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just going to become impossible. I'm all for safety, obviously, like concussions and etc. We should be careful and make the game safer, just so these players can have a longer career, and not only that, have a life after football. That's very important. But you can't ruin the game at the same time. A lot of these players would be against getting rid of the cut block, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Except unless you're D end or T tackle, then you probably hate it.
Oh yeah, they hate that. That's why they wear those knee braces, man. Yeah. The only thing I want to say is all these knee injuries, ACLs, MCLs, meniscus tears, LCLs, whatever you want to say about any ligaments in your knee, they all happen when someone's leg is planted in the grass or the turf. This happens a lot in soccer. This happens in rugby. This happens in football. It's not something that you can change unless you change the entire sport. So that's the thing here. This is why the NFL can't really do too much about this, because, again, like Reed said, you shorten that strike zone, how are people going to get tackled? It's just going to become an offensive game. Defense is always going to be having penalties, and that's where teams lose money. They lose the initiative to have fans to be excited about football and big hits, because that's what football is. That's why they wear all this protective gear in the head, on the chest plates. They even have new knee pads that allow them to have cushion, so when their knees do get hit, if the player chooses to wear them, they're protected a little bit more. But again, this is the NFL, man. It's a professional league. People getting paid to do this, so they're at their own risk of injuring their bodies.
Right. And like I said, I feel like people are making I don't want to say bigger deal than what it is, because it is a big deal, because someone did get injured. But just because of the name and where he got drafted, they wouldn't have done this with someone else. And I do want to make a comment on what y'all said. Yeah, defensive players would vote against it, or would vote for it, but some offensive players might as well, because in high school I played O-line. I was an O-lineman. So back in high school, it probably doesn't happen at the professional level, but I got chopped many times whenever there was a blitz, a linebacker blitz. First thing they want to do is chop that lineman so that linebacker can come straight through. And I tell you what, it's not a fun feeling, and it's always scary, okay? But in practice, you are taught on how to get chopped. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but to prepare yourself to either avoid it or avoid injury. You are taught a way how to do that. And just a little bit of a story. Whenever I had to chop someone because I wasn't the biggest lineman out there, a part of me always felt bad, right? Because as soon as I heard the play, as soon as I knew what I had to do, I said, "Oh man, rest in peace, this guy's knees. Rest in peace." They're gonna go the opposite way. He's gonna start yelling. I'm gonna feel good because I'm in the hype. I'm in the hype of the moment, right? Like I remember one game, I even looked up and I said, "Hey, dude, just fall. I'm about to chop you. I'm going to break your knees." Okay. And he didn't listen. He wanted to bull rush, and I chopped the crap out of him. Did he get injured? No. So it was very fortunate of him not to get injured. But you're going full throttle because if you miss that chop block and you're on the ground and the guy's up, still running to get that play,
Person
you're
behind
out of
you.
here.
Yeah.
So that guy Moss, if he hesitated, if he missed that chop, if he felt bad for 1 second and Thibodeaux gets that play, Thibodeaux's already getting paid. He's getting paid. He got drafted high. He's getting paid. That guy Moss will never see the light of the field again. Because one, it shows that he's playing scared, and two, he's scared, unconfident, and unwilling to do what he needs to do to make the play happen.
Yeah, man. Speaking on Thad Moss a little bit, he went undrafted in the 2020 draft, and he got injured himself last year. So for you guys that are saying, "Oh, poor guys who are getting injured," this guy got injured, and you guys are throwing shade at him because he's doing his job to try to make a roster this year. But yeah, I think it's his second year with the Bengals. Last year he got cut because he was injured. He wasn't able to play the entire year. And who's going to carry someone who's a third or fourth string tight end who's injured? So now it's his second year. He's trying to make it on the team. I hope he does because you can see that this guy really loves football and he's trying to do his job as safe and as consistent as possible. So kudos to this guy. Kudos to Thibodeaux for having a good compliment after. He says, "Guys, I'm fine. It was a football play. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong." He walked out of the arena by himself of his own volition. He had a little bit of a limp, but of course, it was just a sprained MCL, and he's going to be back at least by week 3 of the regular season.
Yeah, very nice. He's trying to make that spot, especially with CJ Uzomah gone. You can't blame him. We all do wish Thibodeaux a speedy recovery. We would all love to see him on the field. He was drafted pretty high, one of the top prospects coming out of college. Huge upside for this guy. I'm looking forward to him. He has a great backstory as well. But good enough for him, even though he will be missing those games. At the end of the day, these guys are not just playing for the love of the sport, but they're playing to get paid. And this man did get paid. Okay, so good for him, good for the team that he's out the whole season, and good for Moss. And hopefully the NFL does not cave in, come up with some rules next year or fine Moss or suspend him. Hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully social media does not take its course and outrule everyone else like how it's been doing in the past. But at the end of the day, that's football. This is why we love football. Just keep it football. Stop changing it. And Thibodeaux, we praying for you, man.
Yeah,
recover fast. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. If you guys more like kind of news shows like this where we get into social media, see who's talking, see who's not, give us our opinion, let us know. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Until next time, keep grinding.